They're very attentive.
So I want to go, what's the point of having these discussions? Like, what's the point? Why have all these discussions?
To meet people.
To meet people.
Understand different ways of thinking.
Okay, why?
Huh?
To get out of samsara. The whole point of these discussions, whenever your mind is going, why am I learning this stuff, right, is to get out of samsara. Now, I want to turn that very personal, and what does getting out of samsara mean for you? What are the things that afflict you? What are the things that trip you? Obviously, we have these obvious afflictions, right? These things, you get angry, you get jealous, you get frustrated, you get lonely, you get depressed, you get decide, whatever. But you've got your own flavor. But you also then have large habits and patterns, right? Who here has had an experience of, oh my goodness, I'm back here again? Yeah? I think this way, my experience is doing the same thing, and how did I end up here? I promised I wasn't going to do that again. Right? You're not alone. We're all like that. That's why it's a circle. So, yeah.
Hector, also, since we're talking about seeing emptiness and how important that is, the way to get to emptiness is to explore it through logic, right? Like you're saying before, like hacking at it from all these different perspectives is supposed to be a way to trigger that.
Perfect. The very basis of all Buddha's thought is understanding. It's amazing, because I mean that's how we sort of developed our psychological system, right? If you understand, if you get a glimpse of what it is that's screwing you up, and you get it, you sort yourself out, is the premise. Buddhist philosophy has been saying that, but in a really profound way. Like if you really begin to habituate the intellectual understanding of how things might work, which is not the way they appear, yeah? Then that can grow and give you an experience. If you're focused and dedicated and grow that into a realization that can really free you. And does it self-existently free you? Just to screw you up. Okay, so then the Hinayanas is saying, okay, so you keep saying see emptiness directly. You have to have this contact with this reality in order to get out of samsara. Prove it. Show me where that is said. And Master Shantideva does something a little unorthodox now, and he says the Mother Sutras, the Yumgi Do. Do you remember that? The Mother Sutra. What's the Mother Sutra, or the mother of the sutras? What would that be? Yumgi Do. Thank you. The Perfection of Wisdom Sutras. He says to the Hinayana school, I can show you where it says that you must see emptiness directly and have a perfect realization of these things in order to have those 16 aspects of the 4 Arial truths. I can show you it's in this thing called the Perfection of Wisdom. What's the problem with that for those of you who are a little educated in the schools? Hinayanas don't believe in the Mahayana Sutras. They're like, you made them up. We don't believe that is the word of the Buddha. That's not our books, that's your books. Right? Just so you know. So Master Shantideva is playing something. He's like, it's a debate. He's trying to get people's minds to a position. Yeah? So imagine 700 AD in Nalanda University, maybe a group of people who are thinking, we have these books, they are the words of the Buddha, and that's the only thing we're going to practice. Yeah, and then I don't see anything in there saying you must see emptiness directly. And then there's another group of people going, we're also Buddhists, we have these books, we have those books as well though. And all none books say all that stuff, and you got to see emptiness directly. And they go, well, that's not our books. Right? So then there's this thing going on. That's what this is happening, right? But they represent wherever human minds will go to understand the nature of existence in order to get out of samsara, right? So it's a weird play for someone to say to someone that doesn't believe my books are real, to say, my books say so. The Buddha said so in these books. We don't think the Buddha said those books. The Buddha said only these books, these 3 books, not those 20 books. Yeah? So I think Master Shantideva was a cunning debater, because he just got them engaged into a conversation about validity of the Buddha's books. You know, he's like, oh really, how do you know those books that you're studying are the Buddha's words? How do you know that's really the path that the Buddha taught? And they're like, duh, you think that they're the Buddha's words, and we think they're the Buddha's words. So they must be the Buddha's words. Right? And I think this is a lesson for all of us, okay? What do you think Master Shantideva's answer to that logic, because he's playing logic to push someone to a realization. That's what Majjhimika Prasangikas do. They get you to a point where you sound stupid to yourself. And then you go, oh, and you get a realization.
So you didn't even believe in those books.
That's right. He says, oh really, you believe in those books, they're the Buddha's words, and you're just saying to me that they are the Buddha's words because we also believe they're the Buddha's words. By the way, we do. Yeah? Is that good logic?
No.
So he does that second, but he does something first.
Will we also believe these books?
He says, if that's the case, if you just need 2 idiots to believe that one thing is something, then the Vedas must be true, right? Which is the Hindu text before, which Buddhists don't believe at the time. Yeah, they don't believe they're true. So it's like if you just need 2 idiots to agree that something is something, which is what you guys just said, then anything can be true. Because I'll find 2 idiots for you, and they can tell me that this is black. And then it's black, right? So he refutes that argument first, and then he says, not only that, did you always believe those books to be true? You, that human over there, sitting in robes of monk, did you come out of your mummy's womb and go, I believe the Hinayana Sutras? No, he says. You learnt them. He goes, yes. They argue back. They go, yeah, we learned them, but we investigated them, and they had the essence of the Buddha's teaching, the 3 baskets, the Tripitaka. They had the Duwa, which is morality, the Vinaya. They had the training on concentration, the Sutras. And then they had the training on wisdom, which are the Abhidharma's books. Yeah? So they said, our basket of knowledge, the stuff, our books, have this thing, and okay, we weren't born believing in them. And as we grew up, we were dissatisfied with reality, and we began to investigate, and we found these books to be true because they say the things that the Buddha said. These 3 things, they're consistent with what the Buddha taught. And then what do you think Master Shantideva says?
Well, so do these.
That's exactly how we came to believe in these. So we're the same. Which is just, for me, it's stunning logic from Master Shantideva. Getting someone to begin an argument and going, you have to investigate the Hinayana Sutras and the Mahayana Sutras and any other bloody thing that you're going to investigate to figure out your reality. Don't just tell me that because 2 idiots agreed on something, you're going to believe it, because then you're going to have to believe anything 2 idiots believe in. You have to figure out what you believe through testing it. Is it filled with these ideas of compassion and morality and wisdom and concentration? And does it work for you? Is your experience consistent with what these books are saying? If that's the test of that group of books, then our books pass that test. And I don't care whether or not you like the books or don't like the books, but do they lead you where you want to get to? So that's the argument. So you might be asked, why did we ever get to discuss that? And that's because Master Shantideva has gone, you have to see emptiness directly. And in the sutras, that's all the perfection of wisdom sutras are all about. You have to have this direct experience of emptiness. The parallel argument is that you had to be born that you weren't born that way and you developed it after birth. That's another question you're going to get, and then they get into this quick debate. This one I can do quickly, where they believe that you can get to a state of nirvana by having deep concentration in the 16 aspects, and then there is a meditation called the meditation of, what's the skanda, discrimination, of no discrimination. There's a meditation state that you get to that everyone calls the state with no discrimination, that your mind gets so subtle that they call that state no discrimination. As an aside, you can't stop discrimination, that's sort of agreed, but it's called that because it's so subtle that you may as well not have it. So then Master Shantideva says, even in that state we call no discrimination, when your mind is not going dark or white or up and down or whatever. When you remove that or get that so subtle, even in that state you might have removed your obvious mental afflictions, but as soon as you come out of that state, your mind kicks back into a normal thing. So just getting really good at not getting angry and really good at that is not enough to sustain a perfected view that gets you out of that. You must pierce through it by having a direct experience, a visceral experience of this thing called emptiness, and then you will have the 16 aspects of the noble truths, Ariel truths. And then there's text to say that he does that, and then we get to the actual link between seeing, and this used to bother me so much when Geshe Michael was teaching this in the 90s, because I kept going, why does seeing emptiness directly, I don't understand, why is that particular thing going to get me out of suffering? Show me proof, show me something that I can grab onto, that I can understand, because I didn't like being slid without holding onto something to a place that I didn't understand. And then he taught this thing, which are the 6-step process by Maitreya, which clearly shows, if you pay attention, the link between not understanding your world, i.e. not having an understanding of emptiness, and why samsara occurs to you. And the reverse is, if you understand what is driving samsara and you can break through by seeing emptiness directly, you will not have samsara occur to you. So I'm going to cover these 6 things, and I think that's the end of the... No, it's the next... There's one tiny thing at the end of that. Okay? So who's seen these 6 steps? It's a different way of teaching the 12 links of dependent origination, and it's the 6-step process why samsara occurs to us. No? Okay. So the first one is called, let's call it the tendency. When you are born with the tendency to see things as self-existent. So Maitreya, who's Maitreya? Who's Maitreya? Who's the person that taught this? The future Buddha for some, or a great Bodhisattva for others. Okay, depending on what initiations you don't have or have. So I'm going to ask you not to think of yourself being born in this world from a human point of view, but rather having an experience of being in this realm comes from having a seed in your mind to see things as self-existent. It's in reverse in this way of thinking. We are a collection of beings with a similar outlook because we got the similar karmas or energies in our consciousness to share the way we see things. For that reason we are humans. We're not body humans that pop out of wombs and then we have this kind of mental problem. It's in reverse. Lord Maitreya is saying we have this from previous existences, from before coming here, before experiencing ourselves here, we have this tendency to see two things as self-existent, which are me and mine. Yeah? Me and my parents. Good. Based on this, so that's, let's call that link 1, okay? Due to that potential, two things begin to arise here. And that is the tendency to see things as self-existently me and mine. Yeah? So we have that potential turns into actuality, link 2. And this is the first link of the wheel. This is ignorance. This is misunderstanding how things are. They're not self-existent out there the way they seem. They're not pen from their own side. They're not radiating their nature. We have something in us that forces us to think that things are coming from them. And that's why we share this realm. That turns into an eventuality. We really believe that to be so. Things are self-existent. And this let us focus, because we think things are coming that way, we think then that they have some qualities of their own, and I like those ones and I don't like those ones. Link number 3. Do you follow the logic so far? You're coming with some potential, that potential becomes actuality, that actuality lets you believe things about the appearance of things. They appear nice, they appear not nice. And then you have the 4th thing, which is, because they appear nice and not nice to you, or somewhere in between, you have ignorant liking towards something. Oh, I like that. So you're going to behave in a certain way in a minute. Oh, I don't like that. You're going to behave in a certain way in a minute, but we haven't gotten there yet, right? Do you understand so far? What's the first one?
The potential.
You already pop in with something before. Something before has come with you. I guess it's the Buddhist idea of original sin, right? So instead of a snake eating and the apple, whatever, it's something is already here from before producing this view. Right? And that is that things begin to appear as self-existent. And because they appear as self-existence, you like some and you don't like some. Yeah? Ignorantly. What happens if you don't put the word ignorantly in there? Is it okay to like things?
Yes.
Does the Dalai Lama like things?
Yes.
Think about the logic, right? Does the perfected Buddha like things?
Yes.
Does he want people in hell?
He prefers.
So if I don't put the word ignorantly in that sentence, you're including Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and Dalai Lamas and teachers in this cycle of samsara. Okay? So it's vital to say, so if I put this is water and this is urine, do you like one and dislike the other one? If I made you drink them, yeah,
Whose urine is it?
let's call it motor oil. Just let's call it motor oil because some people might like urine. Yeah, to some. Okay. Do you like motor oil to drink?
No.
Do you like water to drink in
Yeah.
comparison to?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it wrong?
No.
What's wrong about that in this system? It's only wrong if you misunderstand where that came from. If you think that the negative qualities of taking that down your throat come from that thing, you're going to get more of that experience. Because you're misunderstanding where it came from. And similarly with that. So you must have in that 4th thing the idea of ignorant liking and ignorant disliking, which is the center of the wheel of life. Those two states of mind are with us all the time. You are doing it non-stop. I like that, I don't like that, I like that, I don't like that, I like that, I don't like that, non-stop. It's so part of us, we don't even think of it that way. You are doing it non-stop. I was doing it with the ladies on the train. I'm like, I didn't like them doing that to me. You know, I mean, it was obvious, it was coming up. I liked the way I was thinking about my beard. Yeah, I didn't like the way yeah. I wonder if anyone else is watching. I don't want anyone else to think that way. Yeah? And then it's so full and so fast, what happens next? What's the fifth thing? If you follow that slope, you've got some potential that has ignorance in it, that you've come in here already with that inertia. That inertia turns into, things seem to come from their own side. Things that begin to seem attractive and unattractive. Oh my God, I like that, I don't like that. What's
you guess that you act in a way?
You take action.
Yeah.
And create more confidence.
Exactly. You take action, which is the fifth step, which is you collect karma, right?
And then ignorance, you take ignorance steps.
You think it's coming from there. Yeah. I'll make someone else drink the oil. I want the water. Let everyone else drink that thing. I don't want that. I want that. That'll be good for me. I don't care about them. Right? We're doing that all the time. Millisecond by millisecond in subtle ways. And that is producing samsara for us, because the last step, the sixth step, is called Korwa Kor. And it's a pun, because Korwa is samsara. Kor means to go around like an idiot chasing its tail, like a dog chasing its tail, circling. Korwa Kor, you can hear the pun, right? Korwa Kor. So, to put it bluntly, we are cycling in things that trip us over, in samsara, Korwa Kor. We find ourselves in these cycles of suffering. You step back. How did I get this? I have karma. Karma's creating this for me. There's this thing producing itself. It seems to be coming out there, but it's actually coming out there. Why did I get that karma? Because I like things ignorantly and I dislike things ignorantly. Why did I do that? Because they appeared attractive from their own side, or they appeared unattractive from their own side. Why? Because I had ignorance. I didn't understand where they came from. Why? It's not your fault. You're not a terrible person. That's just how you are. If you were born with some kind of problem with your arm or color, pigmentation or extra finger or something, are you going to feel guilty about having 5 fingers? 6 fingers? Sorry. 5 fingers and a thumb. It's just how you are. You figure out how to work with that. Is it your fault? Are you evil for having 6 fingers? You see, and then this is where our Western religious guilt complex pops in, right? Oh my God, I came into this world with ignorance. I must be an idiot. I'm a bad person. A bad person doesn't deserve to be happy. A bad, unhappy person doesn't deserve to get enlightened. I could never figure. It's such a waste of space. It's not the point of these teachings. The point of these teachings is to just really see how is it that you're having perceptions of your reality, and can you reverse them to a point where you are having true perceptions, valid experiences that function in a way that can stop you from the obvious things that are holding you back, and then ultimately from the whole inertia of this human realm that is forcing us to share an ignorant view of the world. Is that possible for your mind? Really, is your mind flexible enough, moldable enough, expansive enough to have in it some experience that can radically change everything? Of course it is. So, why not? Why are we forever tripping over the same things and catching ourselves in those cycles? Exactly. So we're so caught up in it's. Remember, I keep using the idea of we're just in this fish tank, right? And we're in this, and that's all our existence, life after life after life. And then some holy being says, "Hold on, you're a fish. Fish are in the ocean. Look, Here is an ocean. The fish tank and all go in this massive ocean. It's too big. I like my little fish tank. I'm so used to the fish tank. This seems so scary. Which is the next part of the argument. After they discuss this from the Prajnaparamita Sutras, someone says to Master Shantideva, okay. So I've got no problem with you saying that we have to see emptiness directly. But I tried it. I'll buy it, but I tried it. And I've thought about it. It's scary. The next argument is, okay, if that emptiness directly thing is true, if things are really coming from me and I have to practice and internalize and see that, that's frightening. It's like that ocean. I'm scared to take full responsibility for all of my existence. I'm frightened, and that's really what the text is saying. It's too scary to sit there and meditate on emptiness, to actually unravel the way my mind is experiencing existence and grabbing onto it and actually letting go from that view and trying something new, like being in an ocean. That scares the hell out of me. Who's had, let's see if we fess up, an experience in good meditation? You've had a good meditation and you've recoiled because it was too much. Yeah? It's scary. If you were Master Shantideva and someone said to you, I want to get out of suffering, and you're telling them that the only way to get out of suffering is having this direct experience with emptiness, and all these other tricks aren't going to work for me, but I'm frightened as hell to have that experience or to get close to it, because it might make me feel too big, or for whatever reasons. If you were Master Shantideva with someone like that in front of you, what would you answer?
Aren't you more scared of staying in samsara for
Your
eternity?
beautiful Master Shantideva. That's exactly his answer. If you're going to be scared of anything, what causes fear? He just gave you the 6 links that create ignorant disliking and create more karma and create more samsara. If you're going to be scared of anything, be scared of how your life is right now, because that's going to continue infinitum unless you crack it. Emptiness is not something to be frightened of, because it's the only thing that can liberate you. I've just explained how. And I know the propensity and the things, the impulse to want to continue in the comfortable, I've got no words today. That's a good one. What was?
Sorry, I thought you said fishbowl. That's what you were-
No, but fishbowl. No, I'm thinking of something else. You know when you don't want to go out of your paradigm?
Comfort zone.
Yeah, you come. Thank you. English.
It's not your first language.
It's not in my first language. Is it just that we're too? Is it just that we're comfortable? And Master Shantideva says, do not be afraid. If you're going to be afraid of anything, be afraid of what's in you right now, because until you crack that, you're like this and worse. Without an end. I can't tell you when you'll end.
Well, he also said the good news is that you are feeling fearful.
Is that
You are feeling the fear. You are seeing what it is you live in. Not just be afraid of
right?
it.
But
But you're
he's saying,
actually
don't be
seeing
afraid.
what it is you
Cool.
have been doing. You are seeing samsara from another side.
Sure, but he says, use that fear, yeah, to act. Yeah.
I'm cool with it. There's a huge problem with samsara, and I'm running around in a circle, and I have come to see that it could be perpetually through endless lifetime, and I'm willing to investigate getting out of it. I'm more afraid of samsara, but I'm also afraid of getting out.
Yeah.
And I kind of want proof. Before, it's like, I want proof that it's possible to get out, but I know I have to
Yeah.
learn how to get out. To get
So it's a cool question.
Yeah.
Like, show me
Yeah,
the
yeah,
proof
yeah.
that you can get out, because all I hear is bullshit, you know? It's just like,
Yeah, sure.
like everybody just writes some text like get out, and I'm like,
Yeah.
where's the proof in that?
So there's two ways about that. Yeah. One is you might not get any proof.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like, I'm gonna.
No, I'm saying
investigate.
if you didn't get proof and things continued, is that enough pain to want to stop it? Yeah.
No, I
because-
keep getting enticed back to samsara, so that's why
You do.
I'm here.
Okay.
You know.
Also, I think the scary part, for at least for me anyway, is the part of me that doesn't want to go around and continue to suffer
Yeah.
and want to relieve that suffering. Doesn't want to give up that part of me that wants to search for it. So how do I? Can you still be that smaller self and not be the ocean? Or
Does the ocean contain that smaller self, as you put it?
I'm guessing it does, but
Mhm.
if I'm swallowed up in the ocean, can I still experience the ocean through the smaller tank?
Through the smaller tank. I think I'm going to revert back to what proof could we give Patrick? What proof could you have that something that you can't see exists? Air. Nike. No, I got you. Yeah. It's a good thing, but how do you know air exists?
Well, by induction. But I was also going to say,
How do you get
part
to
of that is
deduction?
there aren't other alternatives. I mean, we have to evaluate all the other alternatives. Even,
How do you determine this is a path for you?
'Cause, I'm just saying, if there isn't proof,
No.
I just want to go and build a castle and
Yeah, no, of course, yeah.
all the good things.
So,
that this
but
has.
I want you to answer.
But the proof is in your own experience. So you tell me, by way of proof, how of all the things.
Yeah, but he's saying why
No, I'm
don't you
saying
go?
I'm good with that samsara is
Yeah.
faulty.
Yeah.
I'm just not having a proof that seeing emptiness directly or realizing nirvana exists. I haven't seen that.
it's by,
Go on.
it's by applying the principles. So like,
Because I might be in for a big spoof.
No, but I mean, it's you're disingenuous.
No. It's a really good
I'm not
argument.
just ingenuous. Don't accuse me of
Actually,
that.
someone else was talking.
Like,
Yeah,
dude,
sorry. Yeah,
don't tell me
true.
what I am.
This young lady was talking over here.
Okay, go ahead.
the thing that we are creating, whatever it is that's like scary, is actually something that we would have to create, right? Like we would have to have the insight. It's not like somebody would just drop it on our head. Like somehow it would have to come out of us, engage with us. So it has to
What
be-
would?
the insight is seeing emptiness directly, right? Like it can't just get dropped on our head like out of nowhere. And if it's coming out of us, it also has to be in us. Somewhere it has to already,
Exist in me, right?
yeah, to have a connection, to have some content. And then if we create that by applying some principles, it could be happening right now. So we don't know for sure. It is by induction.
But how do you get there? How do you get there?
Well, through analysis and
Through
logic.
analysis. And how do you do that?
You inquire, you ask questions,
do
you sit
deductive
in meditation,
reasoning.
you
Yeah.
observe other people around you. Yeah.
Can you be sure you'll be here tomorrow?
No.
Prove it. How do we prove things?
See others not in
That's cool. So how did you've seen that others were not here tomorrow, and then you used logic to make deductions, to have faith that I might be in a similar group. Yeah?
can apply the teachings that
No.
exist.
But he's saying
Right,
why by
that-
the teachings to
But
follow.
that is not solid proof, though. That's still like it's still logic. That
No, I know, but I'm
maybe
trying to
can
get you
correct
to
it,
give me
but
solid
that's-
proof of anything. Huh?
That's his answer.
That's the answer. There is no solid proof.
Probably just the manifestation that's within you to come out of it.
So where is the go on.
I think I think you can't prove that, but the thing that you have to prove to yourself is future lives, because it really falls to like, well, if I can't prove nirvana, I can do whatever the fuck I want in this life, but then you have to think like, oh, is the things that I'm doing in this life gonna roll over into the next life, and am I gonna live with the consequences of this life in my next life?
That I'm good with.
Right. So if you prove that, then you only that's the only thing that you could do now until you get to the point of seeing emptiness, right? Or until you get to that point where you believe that's the next step.
Like the no other alternative.
Yeah, because like if
I'm
there is
asking-
future lives, then you have to
He's
live
asking-
ethically.
I'm asking the question because I have a doubt.
Yeah.
And if and I want to push if there is a proof that somebody could sort of say me, it's gonna propel me harder to actually study this. So I'm
But
this idea that you have that you want proof, isn't it also just in a way a perspective? Somebody maybe doesn't, it's just your perspective that you don't know if there is this thing called nirvana or whatever it
in
is.
Zen, they kind of celebrate the great doubt.
Yeah, and it
Right,
should
but
be.
isn't
Yeah.
that doubt in a way empty also? So isn't it in a sense already disproved?
So let's have a look where doubt arises. Okay, so now we've gotten to doubt as the reason for needing proof. My question would be to you, or to me, because I mean I've had exactly the same thing. I still have a portion of my mind going, okay, but am I on the right thing? I know what proofs are for me functioning. The only way I know that is because I've drank some Kool-Aid and I've had an experience, and I've drank some more, and I've still got the Kool-Aid out there and going, oh no, I'll try a little more. And each time I drink some, I have an experience, and that experience, in some instances, are unshakable for me. I'm like, oh, now I know it in a way I didn't know it before. And the only way that proof is I couldn't get that proof from that guy or that girl or that book or that thing. The only proof that functioned for me to get me to a point where I want to collect Kool-Aid is the experience of tasting the different things. That's the only proof that worked for me to this point.
What's your Kool-Aid metaphor? What is that?
The yeah.
For what?
I deny
It's a cult metaphor.
Yeah, it's a
No, I know that, but I didn't literally know what you were talking about.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
We're talking these
the
teachings.
practice.
The practice, okay. I wasn't sure if you were talking about like getting teachings from someone or.
Wait,
Believing the Dharma.
believing anything, like not just Dharma. Yeah.
I was looking for proof something logic as well, something tangible and measurable. But as you develop a meditation practice, you get to trust the intuition that nirvana does exist. You wouldn't be able to prove it scientifically and quantify it. But the deeper you get into practice, the deeper you feel it does exist. That's my take on it. And your mind shifts to believe it more and more.
Different type of thinking, right?
Yeah.
So
It's not so. Linda.
That if you did have proof already, then you already see it. So there's no need to ask for proof or look for proof. The whole thing right now is that because you already are asking for proof, it's there, and you're on your way to see it yourself. Because if you had the proof, then it's done. You reach nirvana. The proof is there. If you can see if you're being proven that, I feel like that's it. Then you got it.
I really like that answer. From the Majjhimika point of view, or the way we've explained it so far in this school, in the Gelugpa school, how do you get no more doubt? You know, like, which is amazing, right? So, which is terrible for you. Yeah, that's it. That's the only mental. Well, there's 3 mental afflictions, but that's one of the mental afflictions that permanently disappears upon seeing emptiness directly. Is doubt, but it only happens in a deep state of meditation. It's not the intellectual understanding of emptiness that removes doubt. It only happens when you're in a deep state of meditation and you have that direct experience rather than an intellectual experience. And when you come out of that experience, the first thing that drops is doubt in this path.
And just being here alone, you start to inquire about it. So it's proof that you kind of investigate that something does exist. This is proof you are at Sandra right now with people meditating. So you're on the right track to prove it. Maybe this life or next life.
Maybe what?
Maybe he said maybe
life.
this life or next life.
You don't usually get it in one lifetime. It takes so many lifetimes to get it.
I was asking earlier, if I may, just to bring back, what I meant by disingenuous, I'll put another way, is, are you saying prove it to me, or are you saying my doubt interferes with me getting this?
No, I was actually questioning just to find out if there is a way in Madhyamika to prove it.
And what's the way?
No, I was asking if there was a.
No, I'm saying, and what is the way?
Logic and deduction.
Logic and deduction.
I just wanted to know, is there a way to
Seeing.
and practicing and practicing in
that
meditation.
you can't get out?
To get out of samsara.
Yeah, that you can get out.
How do they prove things in monasteries? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so my point is what do you even know to say about samsara nirvana or about how to get out of it? In other words, what is it you're getting out? Samsara is a word. So are you suffering or not? In other words, you know, what is it that you want to get out of? What do you want to get out of? I guess it's part of what I'm.
My fear.
Okay.
In looking at that.
Enough to get out of it? Enough to say, I'll try this. What I'm saying is if you don't want it enough, it doesn't matter, it's all crap, we're all talking.
Which is the first answer from my point of view was like, you were either in pain enough to go, I need to do something about this.
For myself
and
also.
I'm going to try some things, yeah? And I better investigate them. Or we go back and go, oh, you know, like, big castles are awesome, and they are, right? And we don't know where they come from, and they disappear. And then they come back, and like, big castles are awesome, and then they disappear. And then at some point you go, well, what am I doing here? And if you're lucky, you get all that in one life and not like in many. But how do they prove things in monasteries, Gurukha monasteries? Debate. And there's 2 ways to prove something in debate. One is logic. You corner your opponent in logic, like Master Shantideva just did to a proposed self-made Buddha group, or scriptural. Yeah? So say, look, there's this dude called Buddha, you said these things, and here's some proof, he said it here, here and there. How do we believe that going to work, having a career, and living happily ever after is a truth? How do you prove that? You know?
TV.
We saw it on TV, they told us, we believed it, we're trying it, when it works we believe it, when it doesn't something's wrong, but we still believe it. And you know, like no, really, that's what it is. We have zero proof that the way we're living our existence on this planet is sustainable. We actually have more proof that it's not sustainable, that the way we're raping each other and the planet is the way of happiness, and yet we act as if it is because someone told us and we blindly believed it. And if we applied the same logic to the nominal existence we're having, we might come up with different answers. But until you have an experience of it, no one can prove it to you. That's one of the reasons Buddha didn't do miracles and so on. You know, it's like, how many do I have to do until you actually believe enough to do something? You actually might have to feel enough pain to get out of it. I want to finish. I know it's a great discussion, and I love it when we do this, because I think this is the only way you actually say, for me, how do I use this? And the point of these classes are for you, how do you use this? I don't want to have I'm not a scholar, I'm not a thinker in that way. It's only good if you can apply it in your tomorrow, in your meditation, with your friends, with your enemies, with everything in your world. And I hope you do, to whatever capacity you got. And I hope that we all remove doubt in the only way you can. Here we go. Would you do the honors, please, beautiful, holy Rob Haggerty? Yeah. Idam Ratnamandalakam Niyasayami Idoku Sunam Yashe Sokshin Sunam Yashe Junwe Namba Kuni Toparsho. Thank you for getting your minds in this place for the couple of hours we've got together.
Thank you, Hector.
Thank you. So a couple of announcements. I'm going to do new announcements. Peter, you're welcome to run out the door because we say goodbye, right? The 3 Joules is moving. Who got the newsletter saying important that 3 Joules is moving? Who did not get the newsletter? Please go to 3joules.org and subscribe top right hand corner, and you will get our only main communication, which is that newsletter. Our building is sold. We're actively negotiating a new lease in an awesome ground floor opportunity, a ground floor location on Bowery and 3rd, and it's stunning, beautiful new place. But it's going to stretch us to move there, and we need all the help we can get. And financial is not the only help we need, but we do need it. We also need your expertise. So if any of you are experts at any of the things the 3 Joules might need to move, like coordinating a move, like marketing the new 3 Joules, like putting together a cafe, like figuring out how to paint things on the wall, like knowing contractors that can get us floors and fans and toilets and things, or anything at all, figuring out a website, anything that you think this place could use to improve, and you would like to spend maybe 3-4 months of that expertise in spurts, either leading a group or being part of a group that's going to transform this place to a ground floor, or you know people that can fund, you can do fundraising campaigns, please help us. Or if you yourself can be $1 a month or share with some of your friends, you've got to come to this awesome place and get more people in classes. Any and all the help we can get in the next 2-3 months will really set the tone for what we will be for the next 10 years. And nobody else is here to do it, it's just you. And Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. Yeah?
$1 a day.
$1 a day is the best way, yeah, because that would increase our monthly capacity to pay a double in rent, which is what we're going to be paying, yeah? All these classes are by donation. If you cannot do it, do not stretch yourself so much to do it. And if you want to help in any other ways. But if you can do it, maybe commit for a year, or maybe commit for 6 months. Or if you've been doing it, maybe commit a little more, because if we really need help, we need it today. We need it today, next week, the week after. So really happy above all that we're a beautiful community. And like this, we've got communities on the yoga program. If you haven't been to the yoga program, it's bloody amazing. We've got great teachers, and it's a real awesome thing here. You are the 3 Joules. There is no big entity, the 3 Joules. It's the humans that come in here and spend their lives thinking about things and then going into your world, your jobs, your friends and so on, and putting them to work, and then they look at you and you go, why are you weird, nice weird? You know, where did you get that idea? Why are you calm when things are shitty? And then you might not know it, or maybe you do, but you are the three jewels out there. Yeah? And it's because a holy place like this for 20 years has been running on donations, so for free, that we've been able to be here, and now we have to like build that muscle a little bit, and if you could help, we'd appreciate it. Amen. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Rejection.